What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So the final part of the Larry Bird documentary with Magic Johnson, we're going to check it out, finish it once and for all.
You guys have been waiting for that.
Trust me, we know.
But before we get into it,
make sure you subscribe, guys, to the channel. We are en route to 100k. We're going to make it happen.
That's too polite.
You do it.
Smash that subscribe button. Not even the camera shot. Smash that subscribe button.
The camera's scared right now.
Because we're en route to 100k.
Let's check this video out.
The Prince of LA was now the king.
He's living that life.
He is.
Being royalty had its perks.
Wow. What was Irvin Johnson's vice? Now, you know my publicist wants me to say winning. But women loved Irvin.
Back then, before voicemail, they used to have these mail slots in the hotels where you leave your key. And when we get into a town, Irvin's mail slot would be so packed, and it would be just Susan and a phone number, Linda and a phone number, Joyce and a phone number. I mean, that was every city, every time.
They wanted a basketball player in their life. That's all I'm going to say.
There was some magic in their life.
Magic basketball.
I was on top of my game as Magic. So I needed all that around me at that time. The women, the this, the that, Hollywood.
The lifestyle.
Magic was living in a context of sybaritic excess from the minute he walked in the door. And he developed a sweet tooth for it.
Sex with several women at the same time.
Yeah. Like I said, women have different fantasies. Some want to be with 2 or 3 at a time. You know, one time I had 6 at one time. That's just...
Damn.
I really do believe he looks upon Magic Johnson as a movie character he played. I think Irvin got overwhelmed in LA by what it meant to be a star.
That's probably true that the Magic ego swallowed Irvin a little bit, but that's okay because I couldn't win 5 championships without that.
Through all of this haze of women and money and fame and fortune, he still kept basketball at number one. He never seemed to lose that focus.
It was just part of the package.
Larry had 2 jobs his last 7 years of playing. It was playing basketball, and then it was him being committed to taking care of his back.
He had first heard it in 1985, building the driveway at his mom's house back in French Lick.
Larry decides to do it himself. This is Larry Bird, the superstar, out there breaking his back, literally shoveling gravel. And
that's the thing with Larry Bird. He never got that farm boy life out of him. Like he was a millionaire by then, I'm sure, etc. And he still wanted to do the labor. Like he loved the hard work and that life, should we say?
It was the beginning of a process.
I would see him on TV laying down, and then they told me that he had to lay down on planes, different things like that. And I was like, wow.
As Magic soared through the prime of his career, Bird was breaking down. His deteriorating back and punishing style of play proving an excruciating mix.
From 88 to 92, it was painful to watch. It was painful to cover. Larry is quite ornery when he's not feeling well, which means he was ornery for those next 4 years.
He could manage the pain in a way that very few people can do. There'd be days he could come in the office and he couldn't stand up straight.
But even after 2 ruptured Achilles tendons and surgery on his back in 1991, Bird kept going to work. Product of a lesson learned many years before, seeing the swollen ankle of a man long since gone.
Well, we don't know if it broke or not, but it looked broke to me. I had to go to work and he had to get his boot on, and it took everything I had to help him get that boot on his foot. And he stood up limping, and he says, well, I'll see you this weekend, because he was working construction at the time. And I was pretty amazed how he could fight through that all week, then come home on the weekend, and it was black and swollen, and he'd sit around on the weekend and put that boot on and go again.
So he got off his dad. His dad was someone that no broken foot or broken injuries will stop his work. So he got that trait, which is a beautiful trait to have, but in professional sport, it's a dangerous one, clearly.
Because it affects your reputation.
Yeah.
Your career.
Yeah, your career, your performance. Soon you stop performing well, you're in trouble.
If you get paid to go to work, you got to go to work.
It was a situation that he was seeing almost daily. He had lost the structural stability in his spine. So it would slip into abnormal positions to try and lock itself to get an artificial stability. That's like getting your finger stuck in a door and somebody's still pushing on the door. So what we had to do was unlock his spine, realign it, do techniques that would hold that for 4 hours, 6 hours, that type of thing, and then he'd go play basketball.
My God.
Every time I would play, I was wondering if I was going to be in a wheelchair. Was I ever going to be able to, you know,
be paralyzed,
walk on the beach or hold my kids?
His pain and his quest for basketball became all-encompassing. Very few people really knew what Larry was living with, because this was Larry's issue, and there was no sharing of his pain.
You know, I probably should have retired in 88, 89, but it's that competition. Maybe one more chance, me and Magic could get together in the finals, but it never happened.
Damn, that's wild. It's actually wild.
Sleeping, really, laying down, just waiting on the game, and the phone rings, and the voice says, "Hey, you gotta come back to LA." And I said, "Okay, why?" "Well, I can't tell you until you get to LA." So I said, "Okay."
2 hours later, he was in the office of Lakers team physician Michael Melman.
Dr. Melman starts to tell me that, you know, through the physical that I took, that they discovered that I had HIV.
Oh. Damn. So obviously him sleeping with a woman he slept with and that lifestyle he caught HIV from. That is wild.
First time ever in my life.
Damn.
I'm such a control freak, right? Do things the right way. I'm out of control.
Yeah.
Oh, it was everything. How is it possible? What happened? How did it happen to me? And my mind is racing, you know, and then you're just devastated.
Further complicating things, Magic had gotten married just 2 months earlier.
Oh my God.
And he feared the worst for his new bride, Cookie.
He
was pregnant with their first child.
I don't know what's going to happen with my wife and my baby. I don't know what's going to happen to me. I don't have control of the situation, and I was lost just for that next 2 or 3 weeks.
Oh my God.
And after Magic learned neither his wife nor his unborn child were infected,
thank God,
he began revealing the news to his inner circle.
The phone rang, and it was Magic's agent, Lon Rosen. And he said, "Irvin's looking for you, call him." And I said, "I'll call him when I get to Paramount." And he says, "Call him now." I said, "Lon, I'll call him when I get to Paramount. I'll be there in 20 minutes. And he said, "You gotta call him now. Irvin's HIV positive." I remember I was sitting on the bed. I remember standing up at that point. And I said, "How is that possible?" I'm thinking Irvin's gonna get skinny and die. I mean, literally, that's what I thought. Irvin's gonna get skinny and die.
The first person I thought of was Larry. I wonder what Larry thinks.
The day that I heard about Magic, it just sort of changed my love for basketball. It shook me up. You know, you get that feeling, probably the same type of feeling I had when my father died.
He wants to understand why, you know, how can I talk to him? I need to speak to him. It was just really important for Larry to talk to him.
You know, it's sort of, I don't know. I wanted to hear it from him, probably didn't believe it.
That's tough, man.
Calls me, and we're talking, you know, it's just, "How you doing? I heard about it." And you can almost hear both of us with some tears in our eyes. And I'm choked up because he did call me. And You know, when something happens, to you, and then you find out who really your friends are.
Yeah, facts.
And people who really care about you.
Like they say, when your life's at an all-time high and you're living that life, everyone wants to get involved. As soon as the rain or the storm comes through, that's when you see who's true and who's not, because the people who are just there for the good times, they will disappear so quick as soon as bad times come.
You know what? I wanted to comment as well. For even though Larry saw Irvin as a big competition, he genuinely appreciated him.
Yeah, he did.
And I think that moment they had together when they filmed that Converse ad, they really bonded.
Big time.
So he had deep love for him, but he had to stay in the mindset that he's my competition.
Yeah.
And he's the only reason why I'm going to keep doing better. And as soon as he found out what he was going through, it hit him.
Yeah.
And it showed how much he really actually genuinely cared about him.
Yeah.
Which is beautiful.
And I'm sure he was probably surprised that Larry Bird reached out compared to maybe some of his friends that probably didn't, because he even said that's when you realize who's actually there for you.
You figure all those battles, all those things we had to go through as warriors, as competitors, and as men. And here this man says, hey, you know what, man, you're okay. And so that was the greatest moment for me too, to have him check on me and to make sure I was okay.
First of all, let me say good after late afternoon. Because of the HIV virus that I have attained, I will have to retire from the Lakers today.
It's the only press conference I've ever been in where I've seen reporters cry. I mean, we thought this guy was in total denial.
I plan on going on living for a long time, bugging you guys like I've always have.
We thought this smile was going to be wiped off his face forever, and he was going to die, but we're going to watch him die in public.
I just remember in the room, he was joking, and I'm sitting there looking at him crying, and he's like, Coop, man, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. It's going to be all right.
I am going to go on. I'm going to beat it, and I'm going to have fun.
Sure, come on. You're going to beat this? And to him, it was a contest. Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, AIDS and Magic Johnson, he's same thing. It's just a different game, different rules, but I'm still going to win.
He wasn't planning on going nowhere. Irvin was planning that day to find the right medicine, to eat right, get rest, and live forever.
Yeah.
Good.
That's what he was planning.
Thank you again.
That's a very competitive and good mindset to have, because some people, when you hear that news, that will break a lot of people and they will just kind of give up in a way. I love that he still had a competitive mindset to say, I'm going to beat this thing and not just let it ruin my life. It's already taken his career away from him. He don't want it to take away anything else.
And I'll see you soon.
But his Magic put up a positive public face. His nemesis, still out of sorts, shed the mask he had hidden behind for years.
He was visibly like, wow, how could that happen? It really set him back.
Probably the two toughest days I've had since my father passed away, and I've been very depressed and sort of been out of it.
I listened to him talk in this press conference about how devastated he was, and I remember thinking to myself, goddamn, Larry found Irvin.
Yeah.
Just out of the blue, something like that happening. It's just, I've never had, other than one other instance, and I was hoping I'd never see that again, because I remember how I felt weeks after that. And yesterday was just a sad day.
He really looked up to
And at his game that night, Bird was forced to confront pain he couldn't so easily play through.
Didn't want to be there that night. First time ever. And really last. I remember we played in Atlanta. had no feel for the game, you know. This wasn't a good time to be out there. Never had that before.
That night he threw a pass. I'll never forget, he threw a half-court pass behind his back for a layup.
Nice.
And if you blurred your eyes, you squinted your eyes, it looked like magic. And that was Larry saying goodbye.
You know, I mean, this competition thing is amazing, what it does to you. What you put your body through and what you do and what you say and how you feel. And knowing that he's not there wouldn't feel right. But I think it's all them years that, you know, what's he doing? What if he's practicing this hard? I bet he shot 500 shots a day and I didn't get 500 in. It's always that.
He definitely admired Magic to a degree, and not in a way where it's like, oh, this guy's better than me, but more so he respected Magic enough to be like, this guy is actually my competition. Like, he's the only person I can say is maybe someone I need to push hard to be better against, or, you know, be better than this person. Once that got taken out of the image, he basically felt his career is done now because he has no one to compare with, and it's obviously hurt him a lot as well. It's crazy.
And I think what hurt him even more is that obviously he lost his dad.
Yeah.
And that probably took him back in that space that
That's
he didn't
what
want
he
to be
said,
in.
yeah.
And he's about to lose this person who he truly admires. So it definitely had a negative toll on him.
And he has lost him in the sense of on the court. That rivalry, he's gone. Like, he may be alive, but in the space of basketball, in a way, he's done. You know what I mean? He's not there no more. So that's why first time he said he didn't want to even be on the court that day.
Mind games.
Wow.
Bird played through the 91-92 season, his last in the NBA. But a part of him was already gone.
I didn't check the papers anymore. You know, it didn't matter. I still wanted to compete, you know. But it wasn't the same. It really wasn't.
With the exception of that year when he was called Tragic Johnson, because on the basketball court, things didn't shake down properly, this is the first time I'm hearing ignorance, hatred, vicious, nasty things.
There was some of my former teammates who had their own little things that they were talking about and why this happened to me.
You know anybody else that's heterosexual that got it? Come on, man. You're in denial.
Trying to say he's gay.
I've been called gay, faggot, Irvin's lover. I've been called all that shit.
Lon Rosen got a call from Isaiah Thomas asking, you know, I keep hearing Magic's gay. And Lon said, well, for crying out loud, you know better than anybody he isn't. You're one of his best friends. And he said, well, we don't know what's going on in Hollywood. And the fact that Isaiah was questioning why he got this, I think it was really, really hurtful to him.
Trying to ruin his name.
He used to say, you know, I don't want people to stop shaking my hand and giving me my hugs. He loves to be loved. And that's what bothered him the most, that people would change in relationship to him.
He would show up at the Lakers facility to work out and to shoot some baskets, and he'd try to engage his teammates and say, hey, you want to play a little one-on-one before practice? And, oh, geez, no, I can't. I got to go get taped. Or, oh, geez, I got work to do. I got to do something else.
The worst thing of all of this,
isolated them,
that I couldn't play basketball. I don't even think dealing with HIV. It was I couldn't play.
The game, the surroundings was his whole world. That's his personality. When you take that away, you know, you're hurting. I knew he was hurting in a big way.
The only sex is safe sex, and that's no sex.
As basketball went on without him, Magic performed ably in his new role as HIV educator and spokesman.
Wow.
I'm helping every way that I can.
But he still pined for the arena, which had made him a star. So when he was invited to play in the 1992 NBA All-Star Game, he jumped at the chance, promptly stealing the show and winning MVP honors.
Oh, damn. Still had it.
But that was just a warm-up for the encore Magic had up his sleeve.
He's not done yet because we're going to go to Barcelona and bring back the gold for everyone here in the United States.
Thanks, Larry.
For the first time ever, NBA players would be competing in the Olympics. And Magic, armed with a message, was not about to miss the show.
It would have proved to people that you were not going to get the disease playing against me. And then also for me too, personally, you know, it was therapy. It was a way to say, man, yeah, you get to do this one more time.
There was also one other perk.
I think playing with Larry was very important. That's something they talked about. I mean, he was going to be on the dream team. He was going to be with Michael. He was going to be at Barkley. But he was going to play with Larry.
Let's go.
Magic kept saying to him, I just want to get you out on that court one more time. Let's just have one more sequence like we had all the way back in 1978. But it was interesting that with Magic being the one that was HIV positive, he felt great. He was in the best shape of his life.
I got a smile on my face.
He had worked so hard to make sure he didn't go there as a token player. And here was Larry, who couldn't even practice, who could barely move.
But you know what? Didn't matter. We were still together.
I love that.
You know, didn't matter.
Hold me close, hold me fast.
The brotherly love is real in this.
Yeah.
I love their story together. Shot.
And when he got his opportunity, he switched a few.
He still had it. It was just his movement because it's back. But he still had the skill, the talent.
And who's taking the last shot with the game on the line?
When I got my opportunity, I still was Magic.
Nah, done with him.
Was that Michael Jordan?
Don't know.
Like before, it showed like a quick little snippet.
Still was Magic.
Where?
Right, before.
Oh, I must have missed it. I don't think so. I would have seen it. Comment below, guys, was it or not?
14 years after they'd first crossed paths, the smiling kid from Lansing and the shy boy from French Lick were happily back together in Barcelona.
You can literally see the difference in their aura.
Yes, opposites. But I think that's why like I feel like Magic gets that out of Larry a bit, and that's probably why he likes to be around him.
Yeah.
And then obviously there's balance each other out quite well.
Barcelona. But it took just one glance outside their hotel's front door each morning for them to see that as far as they had come, they were as far apart as ever.
The only way you walk out that door if you wanted attention. But I asked this guy, I know, how can you get around this? There's got to be a way. Lo and behold, there was a side door. You can go wherever you want. I was going to tell him about it, but seeing that smile on his face, the closer you got to that front door, come on.
So he took the side door and he took the front door. That's so jokes.
Wasn't no side door, you know Irvin. And you go right in the middle of them.
Turn the long way, sweetheart. There you go.
I'm going out the front because that's who I am. I don't go out the back. I don't go out the side.
That's not me. If you want to go somewhere in a hurry, there's a door that leads you there, and I found it.
I respected him for that. And so, hell, I would try to find a side door for him. And we never tried to change each other. That's what made this relationship great.
One of my pet peeves always is when people say, oh, Michael Jordan saved the NBA. Bullshit.
Oh,
bullshit. Magic and Larry saved the NBA. That's who saved the NBA. Magic and Larry.
Magic and Larry. Bird and Magic. To the millions who once watched them, now more than ever, they are inseparable. A pair of athletes thrown together by the cosmos to compete. A pair of men who discovered a bond in the midst of that competition. Decades removed from the height of their rivalry, their bond endures. Two impossibly different men with a connection only they can fully grasp.
It's almost like a private little club, and only the two of them are in it.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, they need to show up to have a reunion and pay their dues to each other. But they don't need the day-to-day contact that most friends need. It's just not that kind of relationship.
But I always get this good feeling when I know I'm going to see him because he makes you feel good. You know, he really does. He's unbelievable.
He's very private, but if he's your friend, man, you got a friend for life. And Larry Bird is a straight shooter. He'll tell you when he don't like you. That's one thing I wish I could have from him, that he has that I don't have. I wish I had that.
I mean, he walked in here, this whole room would change, and maybe that's what I always wanted to be, but I just couldn't.
That was a very well-made documentary from start to finish. What was your final
I think that
thoughts?
was absolutely amazing. It shows like how they got to know of each other, their different paths, they were totally different characters as well.
The competition between them.
And how much they deep down had love for each other as well. It wasn't just competition, it was just the fact that they appreciated so much of each other
They
as
respected each other.
well. Yeah.
Nah, beautiful documentary. Very well made, whoever made it as well. Big respect to you. Guys, thanks so much for the recommendation. I hope you like the final part. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. But now, peace out.
Bye.